Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Make Your Money Work For You webinar from Simba TVS. I'm Victor Momodu, your host and the product marketing manager for 3 Wheelers. We are thrilled to have you join us today. We are streaming live from Simba TVS head office in the heart of Lagos. Simba Group is a key player in the Nigerian business landscape since 1988. We've been part of the Nigerians' heartbeat. We've been powering the nation across 5 dynamic sectors of the Nigerian economy, namely the transport sector, the power sector, the agricultural sector. We are very big in ICT infrastructure and data transmission. And as the exclusive distributor of TVS Motor Company, we bring to you the world's finest 2 and 3 wheelers from the iconic TVS Tricycle, the versatile and TVS King Cargo. We have a vehicle for every need. We also have a range of reliable and popular motorcycles, namely the HLX 125, the HLX ES, and the new NX. We have an extensive network with over 23, we're in over 23 locations in Nigeria, and we have service points, over 300 service points, which ensure that you are always covered with TVS. We partner with TVS Motor Company, and TVS Motor Company is a global leader with more than a century of innovation under its belt. Our partnership with TVS Motor brings world-class expertise to Nigeria, and with a legacy of trust and quality. TVS has delivered satisfaction to over 44 million customers worldwide in over 70 countries across the world. And here in Nigeria, TVS products, they are everywhere you look, which is a testament to TVS ability and our own commitment to excellence. At Simba TVS, we are incredibly proud to say we are part of the lives of over 4 million Nigerians daily, empowering people and helping them to reach their full potential. Today on this webinar, I'm happy to announce that we have a guest who is a guru, if we can use that word, in investing in tricycle. She's a guru in investing in the tricycle business. It is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed guest for today's webinar. We call her Madam Blessed. Her name is Mrs. Okoyemi Anjorin. She's a fleet operator with over 16 years experience in investing in the tricycle business. She's one of the pioneer tricycle taxi business operators in Lagos. I want you to please join me in welcoming Madam Blessed. You're welcome. Thank you. Please drop a clap emoji on the chat so that she can know she's welcome. Thank you very much, Madam Blessed. Thank you for joining us. You started the tricycle business 16 years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're right.
So why did you decide to go into the tricycle business? And like now, to start with, how many tricycles do you have in operation as we speak?
I saw people doing it and I liked it.
Mm.
I am doing it to help people to put food on their table and also to make profits. Presently, I have about 100 tricycles.
100 tricycles.
Yeah.
100 tricycles actively on the road.
Yes.
Great. So you said you saw people doing it and then you liked it. And how has it been in terms of returns, in terms of profits? How has it been?
That's been Initially, when I started, the first time, I failed. The second time, I failed. But now, I'm doing good.
Awesome.
And it was due to some things I did not put in place then. Then, there some operators, some will not pay money, some will not pay. Some will give you excuses as in, maybe my wife put to bed, I want to pay for house rent, my mother is sick, I'm not feeling fine. So all those things are one of the things that make me to fail then. And some tricycle were stolen along the line. That is one of the reasons why I failed 10. But now I now put those things in place. There are some things I didn't put in place then that I know better now, and I've put them in place, and it has been working for me, and I've been making profits.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so very much, Ma. You know, it's been said that for over 95% of businesses fail in the first 1 to 2 to 3 years. Now you have done this business for 16 years. So I think we can say well done, because definitely if the business is not good, somewhere down the line, you would have left the business. We know that one of the biggest challenges in every kind of work, even working for yourself, and is hiring people. How do you vet the kind of riders you bring in? How do you vet them? How do you ensure that you get the correct rider? And what are those things that you do?
Initially, I don't work with, I do it myself alone. And one cannot be in everywhere at the same time. So I later hired some managers who are on the field. They monitor the tricycle for me.
So monitor
the tricycle, and the operators, they report to them.
Okay.
I also work hand in hand with the police.
Okay.
To make sure that they remit their money. There are some laid down rules and regulations that they will.
So what I get what I'm saying is, so before it gets to them remitting money, first and first you hire. How do you hire? Is it like anybody that just comes to you and say, I need a tricycle, you give? Are there forms to complete? Is there anything you do to ensure, because getting the good person is first before all the other things?
Initially, when I started, I don't collect any money for registration. But now discover that when they don't have anything they commit into the business, most of the times they misbehave. Okay. So I later started collecting money for registration, okay, which is 70,000 naira. So once you pay that,
to everybody that wants to get
a tricycle,
is it refundable or non-refundable?
It's not refundable.
Wow. So if they don't qualify at the end of the day, they don't.
No, it's refundable if they are not qualified. If I later make my research, my managers do their research, okay, and later get to know that one way or the other they are not good, as in the tricycle they were formerly using, or people that give them the liver to ride, they don't give them their money back. They don't pay the liver at the end of the day. I will have to refund their money.
Okay. So they get to pay a 70,000 naira non-refundable. You showed me a form earlier on. I think you have the form here. So they get to fill this form. Agreement between seller and buyer.
Yes.
Okay. So the conditions you state here, servicing of tricycle should be done every 3 weeks. Who services?
The operators.
The operators do the service.
Yes.
Okay.
But it must be done every 3 weeks, so that the machine can last longer.
So wow, I see you have like a number 18 points that they must complete. So when they complete all of this, operator is not allowed to pay below the agreed price amount. Operator, they are not allowed to buy parts outside the organization. So so this agreement takes care of maintenance.
Yes.
It takes care of so when they fill this agreement, you hold this, but how do you enforce it if anything goes wrong?
I enforce it through my managers and through the police. Once they did not pay, I call my manager to collect the tricycle from them. They should go and look for a way to pay the money before they will.
So, but what I think is, okay, so you have this document, they fill this document. I see that this document has operator's signature, then they must bring a witness.
Yes.
And then they must bring a
traceable guarantor.
Traceable.
Adequate and traceable guarantor.
So you take care of documentation properly.
Yes.
So we can say documentation is key. And I think you mentioned something about swearing an affidavit.
Yes, in the courts. The operator will have to go to the courts to swear an affidavit, and you bring the affidavit to me. That is when I will release the tricycle to you.
So that they don't abscond. And okay, this is very interesting. So from what I get from you, the vetting, vetting the operators that come is as important as the whole business in itself. One, they pay 70,000 naira. They get to complete this form, which is an 18-point form. They bring guarantors. You say
an affidavit.
An affidavit.
And then the form, my own form, there is another form they were going to fill.
Wow. So that's some very long lines of documentation.
It's a very long line because operators are not easy to handle. Ọ̀dájú ló bí owó, ìtìjú ló bí gbèsè.
Okay.
If you are not strict and determined in this business, you cannot make it.
So there's a need to be strict.
You need to be very strict too. Very, very.
Thank you very much. So another question I want to ask you is, so let's say, for example, I come to you as a first time, as maybe your brother, and I say, I want to invest. I just want to do small investment, have this money. I don't want to put it in my savings account because the interest rate right now, inflation rate is above interest rate. So if I put that money in the bank, it's just like the money will be losing value daily. So I come to you and I say, I want to have this money, I want to invest. What are those things you will advise me? What are the things I should put first thing first?
The first thing in a tricycle business is, one, I think, is the operator first. When you get a good operator, you enjoy this business. And to God be the glory. God has been helping me now because there is a way I get to know a good operator from the beginning. At least in the first 1 month, there is a way I will study the operator and I will know if it's going to be a good one or not. And
so if you find out that the operator is not a good one, what do?
I retrieve the tricycle.
So
tricycle that you have not started paying, you've not paid up to 1 month, you start giving me excuses. My wife put to bed, I'm not feeling fine. No, I won't take that too.
Awesome. So I need to reiterate this so that our viewers can understand, can take these lessons from what I've heard from you now. The first thing first is there must be proper documentation and vetting of the people that the operator that you give this vehicle to.
Yes.
He must submit documents like an affidavit. He must bring a verifiable guarantor.
Yes.
And then he gets to complete, like now you said there's another form aside from this one.
Yes.
So that's like 2 different forms that states the clear agreement and terms. And then he gets to pay 70,000 naira as a non-refundable fee. Yeah. All of this is to gauge commitment. And number 2, from what I've heard from you, is you watch them, you monitor them. Once they start, if you notice anything not going according to plan, you retrieve quickly.
Yes.
You take back the vehicle from them quickly.
Yes.
And give to someone else.
And it is from experience. I have cases of people, different kind of people. I have one operator that used to come and meet me there and say, my wife is pregnant, is having threatening abortion. This guy will be crying. Eventually, the guy, there is nothing wrong with the wife. And before I know it, the tricycle have wear and tear. In fact, it's just crap that I later got. So from there, I no longer pity people again.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. So now, I know the journey of getting to 100 tricycle did not start in one day. At what point did you know it was time to expand your fleet?
It depends on the demand from the operator and my manager's referee. I so much believe in that referee stuff because they are the one that monitor the day in, day out in their parks. They watch the operators, the ones that have paid the tricycle they were using before, the ones that paid finish. Not that the one that did not pay finish and just did not finish it. The ones that are paid finish, the ones that are responsible, the ones that does not drink or smoke. All those things are the things I do my research underground.
So you do research and look out for both character and their antecedent in terms of their history.
Yes.
And then from what you're saying now, referral is important.
Very, very important.
Referral. So you take words from people that have dealt with them in the past.
And my operator that are doing well. I have some operators that are doing excellently well. Even those ones, I don't even put those ones. I don't put those ones in the hand of the manager. Once you are an operator that is paying my money very well and you are doing well, you'll be the one to be boss to the next person you come with.
Okay.
You'll be the one to be monitoring the person.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Please, people in the audience, if you do have questions, please drop your questions in the comment section, and we also will be providing an opportunity for you to actually ask directly your questions. So please keep those questions written down somewhere so you don't forget. Thank you very much. So, Madam Blessed, thank you very much for this insightful the tips that you have been giving us. Now, I want to ask you, as you make money, because I know that you do weekly deliver, they deliver weekly.
Yes.
How do you manage monies? Because, managing money, especially when it is coming on a weekly basis, the money drops into your account, or they don't pay cash. Is it cash or?
They pay in both ways. Some cash, some transfer. But recently, I prefer bringing cash to me because I'm into POS business.
Okay.
So I use the cash to fund the POS at the same time. And I also use that medium to check on the tricycle so that they will not dent it, the way they have used it.
So what I get from you is
they come along with their tricycle when they are coming to pay
weekly.
Yes.
Wow. So that means
so that I can check it.
You need to weekly find a way, because we are looking at people that we are doing. Maybe you work for a company and then you have this. You are using this as a form of investment. You must still find a way to at least once in a week get to look at the tricycle. Let them get to bring it.
Yes.
Even if they are sending your money via transfer, you still need to be able to see the vehicle weekly.
Yes.
So that way you are sure that they are not
dented.
The vehicle is not dented. And thank you very much. But then when you get the money, because I'm looking at it, when you have money, if you are getting money every week and the money keeps coming, it's possible to get carried away and just feel like, I have money.
No, in my own case, I try as much as possible each week to get a new tricycle.
Wow.
I make sure I do that to get a new tricycle every week.
Wow.
And God has been faithful.
Yes, ma'am. 100 tricycles, that's a lot. So thank you. Now, there's something that I think it's key, because even as you expand the business, what for the initial starting point, what would you say is a good initial starting point in terms of investment? What I mean is, where do you capital wise, where do you go for capital? Financing options, loans, investors?
I went to bank. Their interest is high. I also try microfinance. Their interest is higher. So I make use of investors fund. I have some people that I partner with, and in returns I give them their profits and their capital. So it now depends on our negotiation. Is it on a weekly basis you want to be collecting the money, or on monthly basis? So it depends on the way you negotiate between ourselves.
So from what I get from you, it's actually best you use your own money, or you have an investor. You don't think a loan works for this business?
It works, but since I have some investors that are coming that are interested in it, it's better I use their fund.
True.
Rather than going to bank to collect from the bank.
So the interest rate is a key player. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, one aspect of, there's no way you can talk about transport business in Nigeria and you will not talk about, like the local regulations, the road unions. How do you, sometimes this can pose a challenge. It can, how do you keep your fleet running? How do you have the riders directly interfacing with the unions and government regulations? How do you get your riders to obey the rules and be compliant so that it does not become a problem?
I make sure when they come for the tricycle, I tell them the rules and the regulation. I tell them to obey the laws of the traffic rules. The obey the laws of traffic rules, and my managers to put them through some things, like in the area of
Traffic
regulations, and then the money they pay outside to those
okay, the
union. I make sure they pay their money so that they will not have any issues with the union members, and also they should not fight with their passengers, and they should dress neat so that they will not be insulted.
So that's some form of training. You do have in place a form of training which provides a guide that, okay, these are you must pay these dues, you must dress well, you must address people.
They must concentrate.
Yes, because it's a business actually, after all. And I can understand, having come from 1 to 100, you must have some form of attitude about doing this business so that you can do it very well. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you. So you mentioned earlier that at some point that you had some pitfalls, as in like you had setback when you first started this business. Can you tell us 3-4 things that you think was responsible for those initial setbacks, and how did you overcome them?
One of the things is the issue of not managing it alone. I cannot be everywhere at the same time. So that was when I said, I had some managers that are on the field that they report to. I also involve the police in it.
Police is not something every day Nigerians want to talk about. But aside from having to bring in other managers, what are the other issues?
The referee, I work on referee, people that are referred to me. I make sure I work on that.
So before then, you are not using referrals?
No, I don't. Anybody that walks to my shop, to my office and says you want tricycle, I buy for them. But then I look at that. I also look at their goodwill with the way they did with the old tricycle. At times when they come for the registration, I tell them to give me the number of their former boss. And I call to verify that they are good. I make research. At times I do underground research.
So those were the major issues you had in the past. So you've mentioned about 3 things now. You've talked about monitoring, that you needed to hire more hands to help you to monitor. You've mentioned that you do more research, you work with referrals.
Yeah.
Yes. So is that all? Was there any other thing responsible for the pitfall?
And then there was my second, the second pitfall I had then was due to a particular product that I started buying then. That was one of the product does not have a second value like TVS. That's one of the reasons why then it makes me to fall. Then.
So if the product must have second-hand value.
Yes.
And of course, the TVS Tricycle
very strong.
Very strong, the best in Nigeria. Everywhere you go, we say that there's a reason why everywhere you go in Nigeria, you see a TVS Tricycle. Because, there is no, we are, and we are backed by over 300 service points. There's spare parts availability everywhere. And we have trained thousands of mechanics that can handle this product.
Yes.
And then you will see that even the riders, their number one choice is TBS. And I'm glad that you have mentioned it, that second-hand value become a key part of what every investor in this business must consider. Thank you so very much, madam. I think our time is fast spent, actually. We have a number of questions, and I would be looking out to pick out questions. So please, if you do have a question you want to ask us, please, you can raise your hand and then we would pick. So we have one question. So he said, I'm really he said, what if there is an accident and Keke right and Keke is right off? Yes, so that's one key question. Is there any form of insurance? Do you do insurance for this Keke? Because that's key. That's a key question.
I don't do for now.
Okay.
But there is a way I do it. I give probably the operator is a very good person. I give the person, I buy another one for the person, and the person will be paying. I might reduce the cost, the amount, reduce the remaining balance. I might give the person half of it.
Okay.
To relieve the person, and the person will start paying for the new one.
Okay, so but I think this actually brings up a point that I think, don't you think that will it not be nice if you have like a comprehensive insurance? I know it comes at a cost, but then it takes care of things like this, like if there is an accident.
I will try and introduce that.
That's okay, because I'm sure that it helps both the rider.
I will introduce that, yes.
So, okay, so another question, someone is saying that that he has ventured into this transportation business and failed many times. But so what is, and then no, that question, he said he failed, and then what is it? So what transport business? Okay, I think this person probably did the downfall business. Good morning, everyone. I'm joining from Ibejuleki. Thanks for this. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Do you hire purchase we give through our retail partners? We don't, as a company, directly give hire purchase, but we have retail partners. If you are interested, you can call us. We will share our contact details at the end of this call. We'll put our contact details. Please put our contact details in the comment section. If you are interested in hire purchase, we will introduce you to our retail finance. But as an organization, we do not do direct hire purchase. So, question, I think there are still a number of questions. Please, there's a new question. I would like to inquire about the investment aspect, including the ROI and any other relevant details. Awesome. So, Madam Blessed, someone is asking about ROI. So that's the return on investment. So let us assume that you buy a Keke, and how much, because I know that is actually the meat for a lot of people. That's why everybody wants to put their money in it. What is the return on investment? If you invest 2 naira, how much do you expect to make?
At least you make like 1 million, 1.2 in returns.
In profit?
Yes.
Over how long?
A period of 1.5 years.
1.2 million.
Yes.
So 1.2 million. That's a percentage of like how much. That's if you put 1.2 million. If you make 1.2 million, that's almost 40%.
I think so.
That's almost 30 to 40% return on investment.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And then even the rider still makes money. That's not just you making money now.
Of course.
The rider still makes money.
Yes.
And then you make 1.2 million in returns. Awesome. So so we have the customer care number in the comment section 0800 011 2233. Please, Mr. William, you have a question. Please note that we will only answer questions that is relevant to the topic of discussion. So please, you can go ahead and ask your question. Thank you.
Okay, so I was trying to thank her for sharing her experience, and I think I've learned a lot because I've actually been thinking about this and how to go into the same business. So my question really is, what model of business is she using? Is she using hired purchase, or is she giving the tricycle out to the people and then they are returning their weekly returns to her? Or is she like, okay, so she gives them the tricycle and tells them that the amount of the tricycle is, for instance, say 2 million, and then you pay back maybe 3 million or something. I don't know. So I just want to get a clear understanding of the model that she's using to run these tricycle fleets.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. William. Let me repeat what I had so that we can be sure that we got the question right. So you are asking, you want Madam Blessed to tell us what exactly, how does she give out the keke? Does she give out the tricycle as hire purchase, and then the riders get to pay over a period, and when they finish paying, they own the tricycle? Or does she give it out like she's hired them to ride and they pay back daily? Is that the question,
yes,
sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I'm asking, sir.
Awesome. So, Madam Blessed.
The operators, they do higher purchase. Because if you are doing the one that they will pay to you, it's wears off. It can't even last. The tricycle will not last up to 1 year because they believe it's not going to be their own. But once it's higher purchase, they will take care of it. They will care for the tricycle, and you will later get your money from it. But if you are doing on a daily basis, it can't work. They will spoil it.
Awesome. Thank you so very much, madam. So Mr. Williams, I hope you got our feedback, and I hope that satisfies your question. So she's saying that the riders they rent, they lease to own, if I can put it that way. They come, take this tricycle, deliver weekly, and at the end of the period, the vehicle becomes their own. Yes. And that ensures that they take care of that vehicle better than if you just hire them to just come and ride for you and bring money back. So they are for the period they are riding that tricycle and giving you returns, they are supposed to ride to own. So they pay you weekly. Thank you very much, Mr. William, and thank you, Madam Blessed, for that insightful answer. So there are two more questions that I see here. Then we'll call it a wrap, except I see another hands up. After a period of 1 year and 6 months. Okay, I think we've answered that question. We've answered that question. So now someone is asking us that Mr. Wealth, right? Is it Mr. Wealth? Mr. Wealth is asking us that could you kindly provide the investment amount required for a single tricycle? Awesome. Madam Blessed, so let me expand this question a little. We know that aside from the cost of buying the tricycle, there are other costs that goes into the tricycle business.
Good morning, sir.
Before going out.
Yes, before, like if I want to start now, it's not just like I come to TVS and I buy a tricycle. That's not the only cost. What are the other costs that a fresh starter should consider?
Then you buy the tricycle, maybe like for 3.2 million. You buy the plates, roadworthiness, all the place is there. You buy it for 30,000 naira. I think that is the major thing. And then we document the papers,
Okay.
and that is all. So it just costs like maybe it's not up to 3.3 million to invest in. Yeah. The total is 3.3 million.
So the cost of the vehicle itself, the roadworthiness and the
plate number, registration,
vehicle registration,
yes.
and then the cost of documenting the agreement between the operator and yourself.
Yeah, and I also do security. Yes, the security
so like a tracker on the vehicle.
Yes, so that one, the cost of that one too. So all is around 3.3. It's not more than 3.3 million.
Okay, so those are like about 4 things that you have to factor if you want to start a tricycle business. The cost of the vehicle, the cost of registration, putting a tracker on the vehicle, and then the cost of documents, the agreement between yourself and the would-be rider. That's 4 items. And I think we've in the course of this conversation, we've talked about insurance. That you should also consider the cost of insuring the vehicle so that it takes away a lot of risk from you. If there's anything that happens somewhere down the line, your risk is taken care of. Thank you so very much. So one more question and we are out of time. Someone said, is there, please, can you please scroll down, let's see. Okay, so someone said that they missed the phone number that was shared. The number is in the group, group chat. It's 0800, that's 0800112233. So someone is asking that, can I recover my capital? Yes, you can. I think Madam Blessed did mention earlier that you would get at least a 1.2 million naira over how long, man? Maybe you need to say that again.
Of a year and a half.
Of a year and a half. 1.2 million naira over a year and a half. And then you should be mindful that that is just what you as the investor takes home. You've empowered somebody who's been able to
food on their
make money, put food on their table, feed their wife, feed their children. So the investment opportunities is vast, and what you will gain and what you will even be contributing to the society is huge. So on this note, we would like to say thank you to everyone for coming on this webinar. We hope you've learned 1 or 2 things. We hope we've been able to clear some doubts and answer some questions. Thank you very much. We will have this video posted on our YouTube page. So for everyone that has registered, we will send you the link. And at the same time, you can even just take down our YouTube page, TVS Nigeria. That's our YouTube page, TVS Nigeria. So if you go to our page in the next couple of days, we will have this video up. Maybe by Monday, you should have this video up, and you can watch this video again. Thank you so very much. So someone said, is there any initial payment need to be made by the rider? Yes, she said it earlier on that riders get to pay 70,000 naira before she gives out this keke. And the thing, so let me just do a recap so that for those that joined us late, Madam Blessed did take us through that. For documentation, she ensures before she hires a rider, she ensures she goes through referrals, and then she does her own background check. And then after that, she ensures that even after she has hired this rider, with the first 2-3 weeks to 1 month, she's busy monitoring them. And if there are issues, she quickly retrieves this tricycle. The rider gets to fill a form, fill about 2 forms, which is like a form of agreement, brings verifiable guarantor, and then the rider gets to do a court affidavit before she eventually gives them the vehicle. And Afterwards, the rider is trained to understand traffic regulations and ensure that they have harmony with the local union in their space of operation, so that there is each free transport. She's able to run the business without issues from regulators and all of that. So we've spent the last 45 minutes hearing of the best practices. Thank you everyone for joining us, and do have a fantastic weekend. Thank you.